You're sitting in a quiet room. Someone just sent you a message. You read it, then reread it. Why didn't they reply the way you expected? What does that mean about you? About them? You start imagining every scenario, every possible outcome. Every tiny detail feels like it matters more than it should. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. If you do this often, you're not alone. You're wired to notice patterns, anticipate consequences, and wrestle with uncertainty. But overthinking isn't just about thinking too much. It's about what your mind is really trying to tell you. My name is Duino, and I spend way too much time thinking about human behavior and subconscious psychology. If you're someone who feels misunderstood, overthinks, struggles with social dynamics, or wants to understand hidden behaviors, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because today, we're diving deep into why your mind never seems to rest and how overthinking might actually be a clue about who you really are. Most people assume overthinkers are just anxious or indecisive. Not true. Overthinking often comes from high emotional awareness. You notice subtle cues, you care about consequences, you imagine what others feel before they even say it. Think about it. When someone hesitates over a text reply, you're already predicting why. That's not weakness, that's sensitivity. Imagine a friend cancels plans last minute. A casual observer might shrug, but you replay the conversation. You analyze the tone, the timing, the phrasing. You feel the underlying tension. Your mind is scanning for meaning. That's intelligence. But here's the catch. It can spiral into self-doubt, indecision, and mental fatigue if left unchecked. Next time you catch yourself overthinking, try this. Pause and label it. Say, I'm analyzing this too much. Naming it creates a mental boundary between you and the thought loop. Why do we overthink? It's not random. Your subconscious is trying to predict and control outcomes in a world that's inherently unpredictable. You want certainty. You want to know, will this hurt me? Will they judge me? Will I make the wrong choice? Left unchecked, it becomes a mental hamster wheel. You can't rest because your brain is constantly rehearsing scenarios. Imagine sending a risky text to someone you like. For hours, you replay every possible response. Your mind imagines rejection, embarrassment, even humiliation. But here's the insight. Overthinking is your mind trying to protect you from pain, even when there's no real threat. When overthinking is constant, it's often tied to identity and self-concept. You compare yourself to others. You imagine how they perceive you. You wonder, am I enough? Am I interesting? Do I matter? Let's face it, social media amplified this. One post, one like, one comment, and your mind runs through a full narrative about your worth. People who overthink often mirror others' expectations instead of their own. They adapt, second-guess, and replay social interactions like a movie director. The paradox is clear. The more you try to control how others see you, the less you feel authentic, and that fuels more overthinking. Here's the surprising part. People who overthink are often emotionally intelligent. Your brain is always scanning, decoding, and predicting emotions, yours and others. At work, you notice subtle tension in a meeting. You pick up unspoken cues others miss. That's social insight. The downside is this awareness can feel like a burden. You feel responsible for outcomes you can't control. Overthinking is a double-edged sword. It gives you insight, but also stress. The key is channeling it intentionally. Turn analysis into strategy. When you overthink, ask yourself, what action can I take that's constructive? Write down one small step instead of looping endlessly. You might be thinking, I'm just shy. Overthinking isn't shyness, it's active processing. Shy people withdraw. Overthinkers engage internally. This doesn't apply to me. Even if you don't recognize it, everyone overthinks at times. The difference is awareness. People can't really change. Let's face it, the brain is plastic. You can train yourself to notice thought loops and step out of them. Here are strategies that actually work. Give yourself a strict 5-minute window to analyze a problem. When the timer ends, move on. Your brain respects limits. Write thoughts down. Seeing them on paper reduces mental clutter. Notice the thought without judgment. Say, "There's the overthinking again," and let it float away. Instead of imagining outcomes endlessly, take a small step. Feedback replaces uncertainty with reality. Ask, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Often, overthinking is just rehearsing a story that doesn't exist yet. Here's a twist. Overthinking is not inherently bad. It's a sign you care deeply, that you notice nuances, that you anticipate consequences others ignore. Some of the most creative, empathetic, and insightful people overthink constantly. They imagine scenarios, foresee risks, and notice patterns invisible to others. The trick is channeling it instead of letting it trap you. Here's something you can do tonight. Take a thought that's been looping in your mind. Ask, is this real concern or imagined fear? Write one small, actionable step that addresses it, or decide to let it go. You'll be surprised how freeing it feels to externalize and contextualize your thoughts. At the end of the day, overthinking is just your mind trying to protect your sense of self. It's fear dressed as logic, it's care disguised as worry, and it's a window into your hidden patterns. When you understand it, you don't eliminate overthinking, you use it intentionally. You become aware when it serves you and when it traps you. Overthinking is not a flaw, it's a signal. A signal that you notice, care, and predict. But signals only help if you listen wisely. Tonight, notice one overthought scenario. Observe it, label it, take one step forward. Comment below one thought you've been overthinking lately. Just write it down. Share it anonymously if you like. Reflect, understand, and maybe, just maybe, let it go. Because the first step to mastering your mind is seeing it clearly. Hit the subscribe button if this gave you insight, and give the video a thumbs up to remind yourself your mind can be your greatest tool, not your enemy.